2. Made this because I wanted to create something that was more free-flowing. We have these great conversations before our podcast, and I figured might as well start having those for people to listen to. And so of all the people I finally was able to get on here, Aaron Davis, the guy that got me into making videos, is here. Here he is. What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on?
It's really, really exciting to have you in here. You're the guy that got it all started for me. Looking back many, many years ago, probably 3 years ago, I had kind of started collecting, and I remember looking up 90s inserts on YouTube. That was it. And your video showed up. I think it was the video of Sheffield. You had the gloves going on, which I was like, man, this guy really likes his cards. I like it, And there was a couple of cards in there that I remember seeing and then going and picking up A-Rod literally a couple days after that. So it's really awesome to have you in here, and it's going to be fun to talk cards. How you been lately, dude?
I've been fantastic, man. First off, I'm glad to be on with you, Matt. It's great, man. But yeah, I've been fantastic, man. Just lately it's been a good run for me. I've been able to pick some of those tougher Sheffield cards and knock them off my list. So it's been great, man. I mean, I got a lot of things going on in my personal life. Like I'm transitioning now into a new home, and I got all that stuff going on. But other than that, man, it's been great. It's been fantastic, actually.
Yeah, the top 30 video you posted, man, I was pretty pumped because, a lot of those cards, I had this binge watch, I want to call it, before I made mine. And I went back and watched some of your 90s pickup videos. And I was like, okay, just seeing how you show off the cards and how excited you are about them. I'm like, okay, I really want to bring some energy into my video and talk about, why these cards are appealing to me, not just because they're shiny. Everybody can like that, but what is it about this card that does it for me? So I started doing the sunglasses thing. I know people picked up on that, which was pretty funny, and you did a lot of that in your early videos. And so I went and watched some of them, and I saw some cards the other day in your video that weren't in your top, your pickups, in your videos previously. So it was really cool to see the progress you've been making on some of your cards,
Yeah, I mean, this past year has just been great, man. I've been able to find some of those, more tougher Sheffield cards. I've been able to kind of, I guess, use, what's the name of that place? I think it's called Burbank Sports Cards or something like that.
Yeah.
I found them, and they got some ridiculous cards, man, that they have in the inventory. So, I mean, I've been using them, and I've had a lot of Sheffield cards, and I was able to pick up a few from them. But a lot of these cards I just haven't showed them on video,
right?
But yeah, man, Burbank has been a big help, man, big help, for my collection. But yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to showcase them, man. So I was really pumped, man, when you put that whole thing together, show your the challenge, show your top 30 Sheffield cards, man. Because obviously I'm pretty passionate about Sheffield, and I mean I think it was, man, I thought it was brilliant, man, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, how these companies would come out with cards that would illustrate what was going on during that time for, the player. You had guys that were hitting 40 home runs, and guys that were stealing bases like crazy. And these companies would come out with these cards that would, kind of illustrate what was going on during that time. You had like Don Ruffin, you had the aspirations, you had the status, those cards were absolutely fantastic, man. And, the whole reason why I got into all of that was because of that. They came up with a new concept where the card would have an action pose of the player, plus you got a little shine that would make the card stand out. And then the material of some of the cards was just, it was wonderful, man. It was wonderful to have something different.
Well, I remember the video, your top 30, you had a card in there that, and this is a big reason why I'm going to pull my man in here. What's up?
What up?
Hey. How you doing, Greg?
Brother?
Thanks for joining us, Greg. I was just telling Aaron, you watched his top 30 video, right? Greg, the Sheffield video?
I did.
Yeah, he had a card in there. It was like Dress for Success or something. It was right. I think it was from Leaf, and it's not a rare card per se, but I mean, part of the reason that I really enjoy Aaron's videos is that you show those type of cards and appreciate them for the small things that make them unique from the 90s. And I think that's been a big thing for me. I mean, how about you, Greg? I mean, you've watched some of his videos, haven't you?
Yeah. He's you always have very clear videos, and I don't know, the cards really pop. So
right.
It seems like the ones that you show like just pop a little more. I want my cards to do that.
So I gotta ask, because I remember
promo.
Well, it's gotta be. I feel like there's a light like right here that he turns on, because the shine comes right in on the card. It's perfect. And there's a little shadow. Do you use like a light behind your head when you do those?
No, actually I don't, man. I just use kind of a natural, sunlight that comes in through the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have, just a standard desktop lamp, and that's it.
That's awesome.
That's all I use, man. But yeah, you mentioned like the Dress for Success, man. I tell you the truth, man. That's one of my favorite cards of all time.
Wow.
I mean, that card is just fantastic. Number one, the image that is on the card, you get a good shot of Sheffield smashing the ball out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And then you got those pinstripes that run down the card, and the card feels like a cloth material, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an awesome card, man. It's fantastic.
Definitely. And go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say I agree. Like it's got like
buddy.
It's got like a cloth feel to it.
See,
they stick
that card is
like that's why I got it. It's like it was $1 card, but it stands out so much. It's hard not to want it.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. I'm telling you, that's why I collect the stuff like that, man. I mean, it's incredible. Not just about, forget about the money, okay? Forget about 25 cents, forget about dollar, forget all of that, all right? Mm-hmm. That card right there represented a time where there was a lot going on in baseball, and if you collected a certain player, you could go out and get something like that was a little bit different than the traditional card. The texture of the card, we were so used to, me growing up, you get a card, you pull it out of a pack, it's just a basic piece of cardboard with an image on it. But with these, man, it was like a game changer. All of a sudden, you got the pinstripes that run down and represent the team that the player was playing for. Then they threw in a little extra in there to make you feel like you got a card that is a piece of a jersey.
Right.
Man, just it was brilliant, man. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I put that card right there that you just showed, Greg. I put that in my top 10 every day of the week.
Yeah, and honestly, before like game use, that was as close as you got to like feeling the jersey.
Right. Exactly, man.
Well,
that was brilliant.
Another one that he brought to light for me was you were doing your video. I think you were at work because you had the gloves, but you had bought some packs or something. I can't remember. And you were showing off some cards, and we were talking about Donruss, these preferred cards. They got nice shine on them, the Great Expectations. Yep. Exactly. I didn't even know about this card until I watched one of your videos, and then I found out there was a die cut. Somebody else put a video up, so then it was like, all right, I got to go get them. You know what I mean? But the numbering on their cards were so cool because the first certain amount would be die cut or something like that. Yeah. So they were always Leaf and Donruss were always doing some really cool things with the numbering and the design of their cards. And the nice thing is with the 90s, I mean, those cards are really accessible to a lot of collectors. I think they still are cheap because there's more of them per se, but It's definitely people can go out there and experience that for a good amount, for a very small amount, which is nice. But
those expectation cards, they really got some shine to them. I think I've not the salmon die cuts that I've come across all have like a print line on them. So the right side. So I don't know if they're all like that, but the ones that I've seen are like that. But they really shine and pop. And I think, wasn't there an error on the numbering on the backs? It was supposed to be 300 and it says 3,000 or something.
Well, I think with them they did something cool, right? Because like it says 3,000 on the regular card here. I don't know if it's going to pick that up. There we go. But right. Even the die cuts will be out of 3,000. But the first 250 of those 3,000 are the die cut version. The Power Alleys did the same thing.
Yeah,
I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was an error on their part, but it made it. I mean, you had to guess that some of those cards totally sold for cheap because they said out of 3,000, right? So like in that 2002, 4 or so, all the way to about 2010, those things were just flying under the radar, and then our groups, the groups like ours, started showing up and bringing light to those cards. Before you popped in, Greg, Aaron was saying just how much more expensive the 90s are now. And I have to ask both of you, I mean, do you really think how much of it do you think has to do with, podcasts like this, our group and all these things that have to have a heavy influence on the market nowadays?
I think so, man. I think it does. I mean, truly, I think people are starting to get aware of just how special these cards really are. And, it's podcasts like what you put on the whole 90s group, that thing. And, I just, for me with Sheffield, I used to be able to get some of his rare cards for decent amounts. And now I just noticed there's probably about a good 10 to 15% spike in his prices on his cards. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, I believe definitely that these podcasts that you're doing in the 90s group are definitely, I think people are just looking at them and saying, wow, these are great cards. They really are. And then they go out and then they buy it. And, now the grading thing is on the scene. People are getting the cards graded. Mm-hmm. And that piece comes into play too, because, let's face it, if you get, one of those 96 select certified golds, you get that graded by PSA in a 9, a 10, or something like that. Then it's if you're a seller, it's gonna bring you a ton of money. Mm-hmm. So I think there's all kind of aspects to look at it, but I do think these podcasts in the group and the Facebook group is contributing to that.
I think any attention, any spotlight, any press is just going to generate interest. So if people aren't talking about them, then they're not going to be popular. So the more people talk about them, the more interest that's gained. And just like anybody, I'm guilty. Yesterday, Nate posted a video of Tim Lincecum card he found, and I was like, you know what? I have a Tim Lincecum.
There it is.
So I put up Tim Lincecum 3-foot sticker because Nate reminded me of Tim Lincecum, and I was like, wait a minute, I got a Lincecum fathead in my closet. Why don't I put that up? That was such an odd, because I had it up in my old house, and I just put it away, in the closet and forgot about it. But when he mentioned Tim Lincecum, that brought up that memory, and I was like, oh, I got that fathead. I'll put it up. So the same thing with cards, where I show a wood card or SP hot commodities, and suddenly 12 people have bought hot commodities on eBay. So it's just people see a cool card, and if you make it really shine, they want their guy, and it just kind of steamrolls from there.
Yeah.
That Focus did that to me, man. When we were at the National, I mean, come on. Anybody can get that card for $2 on eBay, so it's not like it's expensive. But I was more excited to find that than almost any insert that I'd found at the National, because Tanner posted that picture, that video, and he made it shine. Right. And I was like, wow, man, these things are incredible. I mean, that's like your video, And then I found it, and I was like, yes, I was super excited that it was there. So yeah, it happens to all of us, man. Aaron, have you had that happen where we've been posting pictures of cards and you're like, hey, I don't have a Sheffield of that. Go off and look for it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I forget who showed. Oh man, what card was that? I was just looking at a guy's video. He posted, matter of fact, it was part of your challenge. And he posted a video, and I was like, wow, I wonder if Sheffield has one, because Sheffield wasn't in everything. you know, during in certain sets he wasn't in. And somebody, I forget who it was, but posted a video of a card that was just absolutely incredible. And I think it might have been the oh God, man, now I'm drawing a blank on. I think it was 98, maybe Precious Metals. Might have been the Precious Metal one. But Sheffield's not in that set. And that's pretty disappointing, man, because that card looks absolutely incredible, man.
Are you talking about like the gold, the preferred, Donruss preferred?
I think it's the Don. It might be the preferred. It might be. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but it was really, really unique, shiny. I've never seen one in person.
I think that was Alan, right? Alan has that gold Bonds where he's sliding, right? And it's super shiny. I want to say it was that card. Is that Donruss? Is that preferred?
I think that might be Precious Metals, right?
Well, so you got the Metal Universe Precious Metal, which has the spiral, and then you have the Donruss Preferred Precious Metal, which is like an actual gold or whatever metal in the card. And then you have, I think what you were mentioning, Matt, is the prized collection.
That's it. I think it's the prize collection one that he's talking about, because he's sliding into the base and it's gold in the background. And it's like, you remember seeing the base at the National, Greg. Those things are super shiny. I think we all picked up one. They look
had them all for like a quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that card. I'm like, wow, man, that's a fantastic card. And Sheffield's not offered in the set. So what do you do, man?
Yeah, that happens. That tends to happen to Bonds collectors too. I'm really surprised that there's so many insert sets that Bonds is not in. I think, you know, we joke around all the time, Greg and I do, that he has the toughest time because he's looking for a guy that didn't make it into a lot of later sets. There you go. Yeah.
Is it the kind of card you're talking about?
Actually, no, that's not. That's not the one. The one that I'm referring to. God, man, now I'm gonna have to go look it up, man.
Yeah,
but
I think it was Alan Chen's video. So Rice Bonds, Montana T. Young. It was he had one in there like that, and I don't think
he doesn't have a preferred metal.
Right? No,
might not be. It might not be. I just remember, man, it was really, really awesome. It almost looked at orange in a sense. It's kind of an orange, kind of goldish card that was shown.
Yeah.
And I know this particular set. There's only 30 cards in the set.
Oh, was it the? Oh no, because that would be only 30. Because
it's only 30 cards in the set.
Star Factor, but you have the Star Factor.
Yeah, I have the Star Factor already. It's not that. It's. I want to tell you, it's. Oh man, now I'm drawing a blank on it. I'm gonna have to look it up now, man. But I know that Sheffield's not. He's not in the set because the minute I saw that card, I went and I did some research, and he's just not in that set. So,
well, that just goes to show, though, you know, like how often have I watched one of your videos, or Greg watched one of yours, or Nate's, or me watch Greg? I mean, there's so many awesome videos showcasing 90s out there, and we're like, oh my gosh, why haven't I grabbed this card yet? You know what I mean? Like, how do I not know about this? And for me, it's really fascinating to watch videos, to watch these top 30. Top 25, whatever, top 50, and find cards that maybe I didn't appreciate because the scans were never that good on eBay. You know, they just look terrible. And then somebody shows a card off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been missing out. Definitely happens to me still, which I really enjoy.
Greg, you showed off a card in your video, man, that I think deserves a whole hell of a lot more recognition, man. It is the Matrix.
Oh. Yeah.
No, look, that's a fantastic card, man. I mean, it's really gorgeous, and you know, you don't see too many people showing that one, man. So, big ups to you, man, for showing that card. It's a great card.
It's like those little cards like that with like the special parallel that really get me. That's why I like Refractor so much. In the Matrix, it's like a unique thing that was not done, to my knowledge, anywhere else. So when you get those little instances of a parallel that just looks really shiny or it stands out, I'm a sucker for them, which is why I like the platinum medallion so much. It's the parallel, of just the regular set. But the Matrix, those cars, like Salmon has a great picture, so that helps. Just the way it shines was. I actually had one, and there was like some damage to the bottom, so I actually just bought another one for like $2.
Nice.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those cards where it's just not expensive at all, but it just looks amazing, man. That card, holding in hand, Sheffield's one is, if I got that one. It's packed away in a box right now, but I have that one and it looks incredible, man. Super incredible. Well, I got a card to show you guys right now.
Let's see it, man.
This is the first time I've showed this card.
All right. Oh, snap, dude. Did you get it from that guy off the group?
Yep, Bruce.
Yeah, nice.
I had a feeling you were going to get that.
I mean,
man, that's a big one. Oh, man.
Dude.
It's all down here.
Yeah, no joke.
There's no way, dude. I was letting that one go.
You've peaked. You guys have both peaked now, man. Where do you guys go from here?
Now I do got base cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still, the thing is, I still have a couple of more Sheffield cards on my list that I want to get. Like I don't have the Crusade Red. I don't have that one.
That must be hard for you.
Yeah, I'll get it at some point. I'll get it at some point, but I don't have that one.
Come across, man. It just.
I think a lot of people have to be holding those, cards just because now they're. I mean, come on, we did a whole podcast episode about those cards. The word is out. You know what I mean? Just like those certified golds. I mean, the word is out, and I mean. There's no hiding it now. That red's not flying under the radar. You could list a red of, Ray Ordonez, and that sucker is going to sell for over $100. I mean, those cards are big time. Those are right up there with the mirrors. So that's going to be epic. I'm hoping some guy just like throws them all up there at once, but that could be really crazy.
Yeah, really crazy. I was about to call the arm salmon.
Oh,
yeah. Are you able to give me the screen?
I can screen share. By the way, Greg, I don't know if you watch Side Credentials. I know how much you enjoy me doing this during the podcast, but I figured
I love when it blocks me.
Exactly. So I haven't shown all the comments we're getting here before I screen share, but Nate's, of course, in here. Kyle's in here. Snoop is in here. 4-leaf cards is in here. So a couple people said that they're definitely buying more of those cards since they've watched. I mean, those top 30 videos have definitely kicked off some interest for some of those cards. So, all right, Greg, I'm going to see if I can screen share you. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to let me screen share your screen. Nope. It will not. I can't. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Can you send me a picture maybe on Messenger?
Yeah, I was interested in seeing if this was the card he was talking about. That's all it was.
Yeah, send it over to Messenger and I'll throw it up there.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm curious too, because I have the card in mind. I think it's the Prize Collections Barry Bonds Gold. But yeah, let's take a look here.
You might be right about that, Matt. I think that's exactly what it is, the gold prize collection.
Can you pull that one up while I'm showing this off here, Greg? The prize collections that Alan has. You know which one that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that Greg was thinking of, Aaron, is this one right here. Is this the card you were thinking of?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
All right, so it's not.
So it's got to be the prize then.
Yeah, I think it's the prize collection.
I think it is the prize collection.
But Gary has, you have the one prize collection where it's like silver in the background, right? But really shiny. I thought you had the Gary of that, like just the base card variation of that, but I guess I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to you, Matt.
No problem. Kyle just said, is that a Tim Lincecum fathead, Greg? Yeah, he just talked about that, Kyle.
Yeah. Nate was the one who started that up. He showed
All
up with Lincecum, and I remembered that I had that from MLB 2K10. I pre-ordered, and I had to pick between 10 people, and I chose Lincecum. In retrospect, I would have chosen David Wright today, but Lincecum would have been my second choice.
Here's the card right here, Aaron. That's it, isn't it?
That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the
Those were not
I
numbered, but they were print run to 55.
Yeah. I wish Sheffield was in that collection.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
And that was like a mishmash. That was like a mishmash of collection, like all the Donruss and the Leaf. They just kind of turned them into refractors and put them in the prize collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Those are awesome cards, man. I mean,
did Tim make it into that? Did Tim make it into that?
I just showed. I don't have the 55.
Right. So the base cards are there. Then you do have the 50. The 55 does exist as well.
It exists. I've not seen it, and it's obviously the. I want to say the preferred. That steel. You remember the one we were talking about, Matt, where you asked if it was in a lot. God was in a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Looked like the A-Rod was hiding back there.
Right.
I don't know.
Those are all 55s, and so that was. I've not seen the image, so I don't have it.
Gotcha. Well, I have a question, Aaron. Like, I don't know if we asked this quite yet, but I know you have a lot of vintage on your channel. And you have some more like tops. You have that 5-star run that you were putting together of the football cards. You have a lot of variety on there, which is really cool. But did you start with vintage and then find the 90s because you were into Sheffield? I mean, how did that transition end up happening for you?
No, I've always collected in the 90s. I just didn't collect everything. Pinnacle was the product that I stuck with. I had a friend that used to work for Pinnacle, and he used to give me all kind of cards from that product, and I just kind of stayed. I didn't branch out to any other product. It was actually Nate, Topps 85 401, who kind of got me to kind of take my collection in a different direction, because to tell you the truth, I had no idea about refractors and things like that, and then watching his videos kind of opened my eyes to it. And that's when I really kind of started off just watching Nate.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
He's got a lot of good stuff on his channel.
I mean, geez, he's got what is he up to, like 5,100 almost? I mean,
5,096.
All right, so he's nearly there. I mean, he's got a lot of variety. I think it was for me, Greg. I don't know about you hopping in, but it was my first video. Of course, was Aaron, and it was showing off. I think there was a Fabric of the Game Gary Sheffield in that video. I really remember that. And A-Rod's not in there somehow. No clue why. But it was that video, and then of course Nate. He came up next. And then Ben was on there as well. Ben, the Barry Larkin collector.
Yeah.
So he did a good job of showcasing the 90s cards specifically, and some different cards, the refractors. And then, of course, he linked me to Alan, who we've had on here, Ghost of Zepho, the Juan Gonzalez collector. So I kind of use those videos as references. I mean, did you kind of do the same thing, both of you, when you kind of started branching out, I imagine, to help you out?
I definitely did. I know with Nate's video, he did a showcase one time, and this was way back. He did a showcase on all his refractors, and he kind of did it like he started with finest, and he would show all the finest refractors, and then he went to Topps Chrome refractors, and I just kept watching those videos right there to find out exactly what refractors were out there. But again, a lot of the refractors that were offered back then, Bonds were in most of them, but Sheffield wasn't. So it was kind of, that part was kind of frustrating. He would show a gold finest refractor, and I would go out and look for Sheffield and find out, crap, Sheffield's not in it. And that part was frustrating. But yeah, watching his, I mean, I remember, I can't tell you how many times I watched the same video of his over and over and over again, just trying to find refractors. But
that's what I do with Matt. I watch his videos over and over.
No, you don't.
Look at him.
Yeah,
sure you do. Yeah, it's like he's like, well, that Tim's not in that one. Tim's not in that one. Tim's not in that one. So
But to answer your question, yes, when I was first getting into it, like the top 10 video, I think it was your first challenge way back when, and I had my top 10, and I had a pretty good 10. But there were still cards that I'd either forgotten about or didn't know existed that I added to my want list, and try to obtain them. Some of them I have got, some of them I have not. But I definitely feel your pain, Aaron, because I think Sheffield has Stammen beat in what sets he's in and what he isn't.
Yeah, I think so.
I've got that 96 was a good year, and then anything after that and then just disappears for Stammen. So
I gotta say, man, personally, if I ever see this card for cheap, I think I might have to get it. I don't really like Sheffield, but I love, me with the glasses. That Rose Zero Flare showcase with the glasses and the outfield, that card is so sick. Seriously, that color, because the jersey color with the color of the glasses, that card seriously is one of my favorites. 98 Rose Zero.
98.
Oh,
I think I have.
I've contemplated putting that set together.
Dude.
5 or
so nice.
Whatever, but
I think I still have it right here. Was this one?
Yeah, here. Let me. I'll go full screen here. Yeah, I seriously, I think they did such a good job with those. Let's see, and then like I said, Tim has a couple of cool pictures for me. The glasses are great because you got that reflection with the shininess. It's like a double down. It was awesome.
Yeah. I love the Flare, like I say, 98 Rose Zero.
This one is.
There it is. Yep. Oh man, I just love that card. It's so sick.
This card, man, I'm telling you, man, that you're right, man. This card is incredible. Oh man.
And you do something that nobody else does too with the seal on there. That's kind of an interesting thing. I thought about doing it, and I was like, I might open it up and clean the card or clean the case or something. I don't know if I would do it, but you're trying those black cases out too. Not a lot of people are looking at doing those. What do you think?
No, I absolutely love them, man. I'm so happy that Ultra Pro did that. I like them so much. I'm gonna put my entire football collection in them.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they really make the cards stand out. I mean, big time. I mean, there's some cards let me see. Let me show this one too. I don't think I've showed this one before. This is the Omega Platinums. And this one right here, it's just a basic card, and it has kind of that that bluish platinum color on the bottom there. But when you put them in a holder like this card just pops like crazy because of the black borders around it. It'll make the card stand out even more.
Nice.
Ultra Pro actually sent me 10 of those in their care package. I played around with them. I couldn't get into it. I think I'm traditional. But the Pro molds, obviously those stand out. Huge.
Yeah, let's see it. Oh man, I mean, they did those cards so right. I like that card too because look, they went with that cutoff style jersey too, man. I really got a thing for those. The Angels did it, the Mariners did it that year, and they look great with the colors in the background. That's nice, dude. That was in your top 30 or top 25, yeah?
And then just a quick PSA, you're looking for that for the non-bankruptcy.
I know. You lucky dog. I didn't even know about that when I bought mine, man. I bought mine and I was all excited. And then, of course, Ben puts out a video 2 weeks later. By the way, if you don't have your player name there, it's a backdoor. And I'm like, oh, man, paid $50 for that thing. But I mean, what are you gonna do? That's what's great about our group is we find those things out. What do you got there, Aaron? You got another one?
Yeah, this is another one right here. These are those aspirations. But but the thing is, you can kind of see with this car right here, it has kind of a reddish kind of foil shine to it right there. And putting them into the black cases, man, just makes that red pop.
I like it.
Incredible, man.
It's really nice that they give us the options. I mean, I think you did a video a few years ago that was called Ultra Pro versus Pro Mold, and it really got me thinking. I watched that and I talked to Rodney, and I'm like, okay, am I going to make the switch and just try it out? So I decided to wait to do my top 30 until I got all my Pro Molds in. And, quick shout out to, Ed Jr. for hooking me up, because I'd got a bunch of scratch cases from an eBay seller, and he sent me a bunch of new ones. So I love them, man. I mean, I think the Pro Mold cases themselves just pop, just have a better gloss on them,
They do.
They do.
But like Rodney was saying, they scratch a lot easier because they're more glass.
Yeah. But that's why you put the perfect fits on there, man. And they look amazing, and they come. And another big thing too, Greg, is you and me, we've had these discussions a lot about, cleaning off the Ultra Pro cases when they come.
Yeah.
Is these come, they're supposed to, because they're wrapped with that really tight plastic. They come unscratched. I mean, all these new ones he sent me were perfect. And so if you have the perfect fit sleeves, which we all, I think, order those, the perfect fits, I think you're good to go. And that has really kind of convinced me that I think from now on, once I go through my extra Ultra Pros to get more Pro Mold for my cards, I love the way they look, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, check this one. This is we all know what this one is, but look at this one in the Pro Mold case.
Oh man, I feel like I've heard of those cards before. Greg, do you know anything about those?
Yeah.
See, now I get to be the one crying here now. It's all good. That's such a beautiful card. I mean, so I got a question. So we know the story about how Greg picked his up, which was really cool. I mean, talk about just coming out of nowhere and a guy showing up and hooking you up, Greg. That was just amazing, dude. Wait, did that Sheffield show up on eBay? I mean, I think there's like a story behind you picking that up, right? Or did you just grab it one day?
You're gonna laugh at this one, man. The funny thing is, I don't even remember where I purchased it from. I think, to tell you the truth, man, I think I bought it. I may have bought this card off of eBay or Burbank Sports Cards. I can't remember. All I remember is when I saw it, I didn't care. I just bought it. I saw it. It's like, all right, it's here. I'm getting it. This card, man, tell you the truth, man, I was questioning because I had never seen one, and when it popped up, and I was like, forget it. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm done. It's going to be in my collection.
Yeah.
And I'm super glad I did. Card is gorgeous, man. Incredible.
Yeah. When I kind of got back in about almost 4 years ago, I picked up a few cards. One of them, like that day, I remember that day I did a big COMC order, sent it through, and I ordered like 4 or 5 cards on eBay. And one of them was the Brilliance Gold out of 99, because my memory had from years ago. I remember when I was kind of dabbling in 90s, I remember there being a Fleer Brilliance Gold, and it was amazing. And I thought that's what I had bought. I thought the gold out of 99 shined like that. I had no clue there was a 24 karat. So the card came in, and I was excited, but I was kind of like, oh, like that's it? Like these don't look that great. And then of course, I started Baseball Cardpedia. I went down the rabbit hole, man. Got lost there for like 3 hours and found out that I had the decent version of the card. So, it's kind of funny to figure that out.
You got 2 gold 99s.
Man,
you have 2 of those.
I got to share this story with you guys, man, because this is truly funny, man. This card right here, the embossed gold refractor.
Oh man,
this one right here, man, I have a funny story with this, man. It took me literally, I've been looking for that card right there probably for the last 9 to 10 years. Okay, this is one of those ones where I truly thought it didn't exist for Sheffield. And one night, it's me, Nate, and Xavier. You guys know Snoop 12922. We were all on the phone, just up late one night, just talking on the phone. And I said, you know what, man? I've been trying to get this refractor. I can't find it. I'm never going to find it. It doesn't exist. I don't care what the books say. It doesn't exist. I've never seen it. Nate tells me, he says, well, how are you searching when you're doing your search on eBay and stuff? What are you typing in? So I tell him, and I'm typing in, what it is. He says, well, maybe you should try it a different way. And I said, oh, okay, what way is that? And Nate gives me a way to type in, to do searches for refractors on eBay. And the first freaking card that pops up is this one. And I said, are you kidding me, man? I said, it's been like 9-10 years. And I type in it the first time you tell me to do it this way. And the freaking card pops up, man. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts, man.
That's a big reason why I do a save search, and it just is Tim Salmon. And I'll look for every Tim Salmon card, because those people get so crazy with their card like descriptions and labels that you just never know. Matt gave me a post the other day for like a crazy Frank Thomas card that was.
Did you win it?
I did not.
Dang it! Oh,
but Frank Thomas was the key word, and nothing describing the card was in there. So I would always recommend to the player collectors, just put in Gary Sheffield and save it, and just suffer and bite the bullet and look through.
I mean, oh man, it's hard to do that, man. It really is.
But you got to go poop sometime, and when you're pooping, you look through Gary Sheffield save searches. Wow.
Didn't you find the red while you were doing that? While you were in a code brown or whatever you call it? It's like looking there. Hey.
I was actually Joe sent me the link saying this, and I was like, I'm napping, so no, I did not see that, but I appreciate it, and things have just got interesting.
Yeah, and we've all experienced that, man. There's some really cool people in the group. Joe's hooked me up a couple times and said, go to this item number, and I type it in, boom, gold refractor A-Rod, $25. Yes, please. Yeah. It's, I mean, have you had that happen, Aaron, when you were starting to get in the 90s? Was Nate kind of throwing some stuff your way, like go pick up this, go pick up this?
Yeah, he did. Me, Nate, and Xavier, we probably talked just about every other day or so. But I remember one time I was driving home from somewhere, and I was talking with Nate, and I says, you know what, man, I got this itch, man. I gotta get some more Sheffield cards. And he says, you know what? Here, I'm gonna look something up for you. And then all of a sudden, man, I kept hearing my phone going boop 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 boop, and all these freaking links start coming in there on where to go. And Nate, I don't know what Nate does, man. The guy is absolutely brilliant, man. But he sent me like 7 different links to go to find these different Sheffield cards. And just like that, man, I had bought 7 cards of Sheffield. I don't know what he does, man, but yeah.
$200 later, you got a whole new group of Sheffield cards.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's great. Well, it's tough for me because, we like helping each other out. I mean, obviously I'm not searching for Tim Salmon, but when I see a guy list a rare 90s card of A-Rod and then I see some more pop up of other players, I'm like, okay, let me go look through his stuff, see if he just listed a Salmon or something, And it's hard for me because I can't find stuff for Greg hardly at all anymore. I mean, he's got the nastiest Tim Salmon collection out there, so it's like not much left.
Indeed,
and if a big one shows up, he'll know way before me. But it's been nice to throw some things. Just today, I sent Alan a card, and he said, "What on earth is this?" As this card doesn't show up very much. It's pretty rare. I mean, for terms of it showing up on eBay once a year, maybe if you're lucky. So I enjoy that. being able to Greg and I, for sure, we're always sending stuff Alan's way, and he's like, wow, something new, which is pretty cool for us.
I pinned the player collection on the top of the group page. So I have a few like sets saved on eBay. And so somebody random will pop up like Edgar Martinez. So I'll look now. I know somebody collects Edgar, and I'll go down the list, and then I'll just like send the link to whoever collects Edgar, because I'm like, oh, this is a rare Edgar. Somebody will want this. Yeah. And so I do that quite often. I'll look on the group and just send a link to whoever collects that person, because I might not need the card, and I'm looking for Salmon, and Tino Martinez popped up. So I'll send it to whoever.
Right.
But I think that post is handy because it helps us, because it's impossible to remember who collects what.
Definitely.
And our best friends. But it's been helpful for those eBay searches for sure.
Definitely did that today with the McGuire card. I was like, oh wow, I mean, I haven't seen this one in a while. And so thankfully, you just network with people, man. That's part of the reason all of our collections are so amazing. I mean, come on, we should all admit, without the networking that we've been able to have with our friends and fellow collectors, there's no way our collections look, I think, maybe half as nice, because I would have missed many cards for sure, in my collection. And, being able to go out on forums and post and stuff, I mean, that's allowed me to unearth some really nice cards. And so that's been really cool for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have this select certified mirror gold if it wasn't for, the Facebook group.
Well, that guy, Bruce, he emailed me. He actually was on our podcast, right? He goes, hey, man, I got some cool A-rods. Can I send you a picture? I'm like, email me, please. Like, of course, I'm crossing my fingers for like the card. But anyway, so the mirror gold shows up. I'm like, well, shoot. I mean, okay, let me go pull out a couple loans and make it work for this card. But he goes, can how do I get into the group you guys talk about? I said, just join this link. It'll be fine. And as soon as he threw up the Sheffield, I'm like, oh, I don't even need to send it to Aaron. I know Nate's already told him. I know other people have already told him. I'm like, I don't even need to worry about it. But he's got a couple nice cards there floating around. Yeah, that Bonds and of course the A-Rod gold. He goes, I'll give you a fair deal. I'm like, yeah, but
right.
Like a quarter of my salary for the year from teaching to get that card in my collection.
Worth it.
I want it. Worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What am I going to do? Put a security guard outside my door? Like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I think that's what's been so cool is it all kind of started with watching videos, and then I don't know about you, but have you guys gone back and watched some of your first videos? Because I went back and watched my first video, and I'm just like I'm the whole time like so nervous.
Yeah, they're hilarious, man. Funny thing is, I was watching. This was just recently. I was watching some of my old videos with my wife, and she was cracking up, especially the ones with the gloves. She says, "What are you doing with those gloves in there, honey?" I says, "Well, I didn't want to get the chemicals on the cards."
Right. I used to think that he did it because he didn't want to get the cases dirty. Greg, have you seen the videos with the gloves on them? Yeah, I'm like, okay, I appreciate this guy. I'm like, this dude is taking it to a whole new level, man. Like, I need to think about handling my cases better. And of course, I had like five perfect fit, or not perfect fit, but mags, and they were all scratched up. I'm like, all right, I'm doing this wrong. So I replaced them, threw them out, and then put the perfect fits on there. So
yeah. Some of those videos, man, you go back, especially, man, some of mine were corny as hell, man. I mean, all the way back to the beginning. The lighting was bad. It was just crazy, man. But yeah, I did. That was just recently too. We were watching some of the old videos. So
I haven't, like, I think my first video was the top 10, and that was like I recorded it on my phone and then uploaded it to Facebook. So I've not really like searched or looked at it at all.
We need to go back and check it out, man. I'm gonna make you watch it while we're chatting sometime. And
I did it like facing that direction.
You did, yep.
In this direction. So I just like showed the cards. So that was different for me, because now I like to show this, my moneymaker, and I'll throw the card like right next to it.
That lighting was great, though, man. I mean, you replicated Aaron's lighting. I think his lighting has always been great, and you were able to get that natural light coming in, and that sure made a huge difference. Despite the fact that you were blinded halfway during your video, that's something that's really hard to do in videos. Everybody does a great job, but to really get that shine is not easy with these 90s cards. To really get them to pop.
I mean, that's the difference between like just passing over a card and like going hard for it is your buddy making it look good. Tanner makes half these, like I said half, but 90% of these cards, he makes them look amazing. And it makes you want the Focus Pocus. It makes you want like the bare bones card that just shines. And you're like, I can make it shine like this in my collection. I just need to get it. So it's all it takes is just making you want the card, just seeing it in a light that is advantageous for the card, and you pull the trigger on it, and it's in your collection. That's all it takes.
I got very lucky with my lighting, man. Let me tell you. I mean, when I finally found my kitchen counter over there, and I saw the video when I was recording, I'm like, holy smokes! I'm getting the Aaron Davis shine in my cards, man. Like it's happening. You know?
I mean, yeah, your video, Matt, that you made, man, I mean, was absolutely incredible, man. I mean, the cards were so damn clear, man. I said, he's done something. I don't know what he's doing. I got to ask him, but man, they were clear. Super, super clear.
The iPhone 10 camera is awesome. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I had been recording on my iPad and I went back and watched the videos. I'm sure you remember, Greg. I mean, they were terrible. And the cards didn't, like, they kind of shine, but it was all grainy. I'm like, all right, this can't be right. I have a nice phone. I should use it. So, of course, I set it up with like a bunch of books. So it's coming down on the cards, and it just, I just got lucky with the lighting, honestly. I don't think you have good lighting like this everywhere. But let me tell you, I mean, Greg can attest to this. We were at the National. It didn't matter where you were standing. If you found a nice shiny card, the thing like shined all over the freaking hall there. It was like the lighting was perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you're in person, so you can make it look that way.
Well, but I mean, like the lighting in there, you're thinking to yourself, if I could have lighting coming from all directions while I'm doing a video, the cards would be amazing, So, yeah. Well, that was awesome when we were there, for sure. I remember Alan came up to me and he's like, Burroughs, we need to replicate this lighting, man. These cards look incredible. He's like holding just basic cards. I was like, yeah, I agree. That was pretty cool.
We could lower the prices on some of them.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, man. I don't think you're going to see that, nowadays with these cards. I mean, there's still some steals you can have out there, but I'm noticing. I don't know about you guys, but Aaron was just mentioning this before he got here. It feels like those are far and far between steals now.
Yeah,
for just about anything.
Unless it's like a pawn shop posting something like what you showed me with the Frank, just somebody who has some baseball cards and they're just listing them to get rid of them. You're always going to come across that, but nowadays it's so easy to just look on eBay and see what the card is selling for. And even if you don't know about sold listings or PWCC, like if somebody like one of our crazy eBay sellers has a card up for $10,000, all it takes is for them to be like, oh crap, I'll put my card up for $8,000. And it's hard to get a steal.
Definitely. The word's out, the word's out for more. I mean, it's pretty nice because right now we have a pretty nice representation of the market. You know what I mean? You've got Tim, who's definitely, you're probably seeing his prices starting to grow a little bit, I would think, right? Or are they staying down with you not bidding anymore? I mean, seriously, because you got you and that other guy who bid on everything. So that's definitely going to bring the price up. But are you noticing his cards increasing a little bit?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
It's the 90s more than it is Tim Salmon.
Gotcha.
Any rare 90s card just is like steadily rising. It doesn't matter who it is. It's just if it's rare and it's 90s, people want it. And that's just the trend that's been going on. Like 2017 was a lot easier than 2019. And I think I can say the same for 2019 over 2020. I think just 90s cards until there's a peak or until there's a collapse. I think you're going to see a steady increase just because cards, we're at our peak age financially, we're good. We're making money. We need a hobby until I think maybe 20 years from now, you might see some kind of change, in our card collecting, but
How about Sheffield, Aaron? I mean, like you were saying, are you seeing like a steady increase across the board, or is it just the big time inserts?
No, I'm seeing it across the board. Like I said, I used to be able to get some of those smaller end cards, $1, $2, and now, they're spiked, man, almost, 75%. I mean, some of those cards I used to get for, less than $1.50, and now they're like $5 starting off, so there's significant increases in some of those cards. I mean, people, it's like you said, Greg, press is everything. People are talking about them, people get curious and they want to know. And the other part to it too that's drive people is that really intrigues people is that, you know, you can have those cards that have stated print runs. And people want to know, well, wow, okay, I don't know if this is rare or not. It doesn't have a stamp serial number, but it could be because, you know, a lot of the platinum cards didn't have serial numbers. They were just stated printed runs, and you had to do a little research to find it out. So I think that little piece right there intrigues people to want to go out and search their collections and look for things, you know, now and all that. And that's just, man, that's just going to drive the hobby, man. I truly believe, in the next 10 years, you know, 5 to 10 years, man, I think it's not dying down. I think it's going to continue to grow.
And we also have to give some credit to basketball. I think.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
When a Jordan precious metal sells for $100,000, I think that kind of puts a spotlight on that set particularly.
Oh, for sure. I know. But the A-Rod PMG, I had a chance. I think I mentioned this last episode. $150 I could have got one for, and I was like, I'm not paying that much for that card. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Whoops. Thanks, Jordan.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up to like $500, $600, $700 now, man. I mean, I don't know what the Frank and the Tim and the Sheffield are doing from 98 PMG, but man, oof.
I've got salmon, and you know, I'm glad I got them when I did, which was about a year and a half ago. Frank is easily like 800 or more. Which is crazy.
Man, and honestly, I mean, when I got back into it, it's about the same time you did. I think, Aaron, you were starting to pick up Sheffield around the same time, I want to say. That's when you were starting to put out more of those 90s video about 4 years ago. Man, I mean, it's amazing, and just the increase I've seen then. You know, obviously the group has grown. We're getting the word out on these cards more, but the significant increase that I've seen in some of these cards has been, you know, just outstanding and fascinating to me, you know, because it just takes a few of us getting into certain sets, and all of a sudden everybody wants to pick up that card of their player, you know. And I think that if you could break it down data-wise, I know Alan and Rodney would love to look like at the intricacies of this and tell us research-wise is just how much percentage of growth you've got over the last 4 years, 3 years. Is probably just outstanding. Like if you were to throw that Tim Salmon up, there's got to be a set collector out there trying to get that card. He's like, I can't find a Salmon anywhere. And that card's going to sell for 3 or 4 times what you probably paid for it, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, not that you would ever do such a thing, but
I love them both equally, like siblings.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible, man. I've really just been astounded at the growth, you know, but us continuing to put these videos out, I know maybe the top 30 thing was a bad idea, because now there's certain cards of A-Rod that I don't have that you guys all put up, and I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. Now the price is going up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
When you make these videos and these podcasts, you know what's going to happen. So it's just, you got to prepare for it. What really intrigues me, though, and it's been mentioned before on our podcast, is in 20 years, when the Mike Trout guys and the Acuna guys have the money that we have and are having steady jobs, they're going to want their guys. So I'm interested to see like what the 90s is going to hold in 20 years in terms of, are we moving on, or are all our generation of guys still collecting hardcore, and we're just continuously raising the price.
All right. What do you think, Aaron? I mean, you got what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I truly think, I mean, the way that I look at it is, especially 90s refractors, and I'm just going to talk on the 90s refractors, is I think that is always going to be around, because here's the thing with that is, number one, they look great. They look fantastic. The shine is great. And there's all type of different kind of collectors, you know. Sometimes people just want to get those shiny cards and display them in your man cave or anywhere in the house in a nice you know, cabinet or something. They just look great, and that aspect of it right there alone is just going to keep you around because they just look so great. So I think in 20 years from now, I think it's going to be even more popular.
Well, you know, I talked to Alan about this, because Alan Chen's been kind of a firm believer of we're reaching our peak in 90s and things are going to come crashing down. And he's mentioned that several times in the podcast that he believes our 90s market is going to crash hard. And I've told him a few times, I honestly believe that our rare 90, I'm not talking about Focus Pocus and all that stuff. I'm talking about the rare, the PMGs, the finest refractors. I think that's going to be like the vintage of card. You have the crazy vintage, the Mickey Mantle stuff, but then you have the vintage 93 finest.
Modern vintage.
Right.
Modern
yeah. In 20 years, I feel like that stuff's going to be the vintage to our newer generation of kids. And then that old stuff is going to be just ancient stuff that is just out of their price range. And the Mickey Mantle prices may be like the Griffey 93 finest.
Mm-hmm. Oof, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that's.
I'm not saying it's going to be that high, but I think it's going to be an equivalent of a vintage style of collecting, because those cards are rare and they're going to be Hall of Famers. Griffey Hall of Famer. They're not just going away. They're branded well. They got a good memory to them, and I think it's just going to be our vintage for 20 years from now.
I think the big thing will be 40 years from now. When we're getting in towards our 70s, and our mid 70s, hopefully we all can make it there and beyond that. But I think when our generation has kind of gone, then that will be the big question. What does it do there? And if what Aaron's saying, and like you too, Greg, the visual appeal for these cards, I can't see them like every set dying down. Like Pacific, as much as I love that company to death, I really do, for so many reasons. Those could go forever and be gone for cheap. But I think like the refractors and the very rare cards, anything numbered 75, 50 and under, I think that becomes forever rare. So it's weird to think, isn't it? Like Ionix Holographics is going to be like a vintage card. You know what I mean? Because I don't look at that set that way, but it is.
Well, I think also Topps having the monopoly on things. If at some point other companies can have a say in it, maybe that changes the game. But if Topps keeps just spitting out everything year after year, the same thing. Mm-hmm. I think our cards have a better chance.
Right.
And if they go back to what we knew as kids.
I have a question, Aaron. You mentioned about like putting cards on display. I've heard you in your videos a lot talk about kind of having your cards in storage. We all know about some of the refractors and the greening issues. A lot of our cards can have those Topps refractors from finest and so forth. How are you storing your cards? Because we did a podcast earlier with Tanner, you remember, and Greg showed out how he's got those really cool boxes, which, by the way, 2 other people now have bought those. So that's pretty cool, which has been awesome. I know I need to get with it. But Greg has his all stored in those. How do you put all your cards away, your chefs?
Well, I would, if I wasn't in the process of moving right now, I would show off a few things, but a lot of my cards are displayed in cabinets, really? Wall fixture displays and stuff like that. I have showroom cabinets and in the man cave, but they're all packed away now in storage. I would have loved to show that to you guys. Standard, I just use the ones that are not displayed. They're just in those standard white, boxes, those 3-row boxes. Mm-hmm. That you can buy at local card shops and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't do anything special with that because most of the cards that I have are usually displayed somehow, some way in the man cave. So I just use a 3-row.
I got to see that when you get in the new house, man. You got to show it. You got to show it off.
Yeah, I plan to, man. I got to show you the Sheffield wall, man. It's absolutely incredible.
Give me some ideas.
Fantastic.
Does your man cave have sunlight coming in?
Well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. Because the way that it was set up, it's kind of underground in a sense. So I didn't have a lot of sunlight coming in. Usually when I'm doing my videos the old way, I'm in my office in the house.
Okay.
So the sunlight does come through there, but I've never done a video down in the man cave. Not one.
The reason I ask it because sunlight is obviously the natural enemy to all things.
Yeah.
And so that's what keeps me from like displaying my cards is I'm scared that the sunlight is going to essentially destroy them, or just fade them out. And that's why I asked if you have sunlight coming in, because if I had an underground dungeon, I think I would display all my cards.
Dungeon. That's when the nuclear fallout shelter gets built. You'll have all your cards perfectly.
Yeah. I'm so paranoid because I'm a comic book collector as well, and that's like a firm thing. Don't put them out in the sunlight. So cards to me is just like the natural instinct to not put them out in the sunlight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's one of the fortunate things about my old place is that the room that I had them in, it didn't have sunlight coming in, so it was great.
Yeah.
But they do have all kind of ways that you can get around that. I think Xavier did a video on how to put the protector over the cases.
Yeah.
And I think he even gave a price and where to buy them. It's just a sheet that you can put over that'll block the light. They call it UV protection strips or something like that. But he did a great video on that, and it's fairly inexpensive to do, and it's supposed to protect autographs and cards and stuff like that really well.
Yeah, that's the thing. These promos, when you get them, you guys have all opened a promo. They've got that piece of paper on there, and it says 3 to 5 years of UV protection on it. That's why another reason I love to interview Ed sometime is to ask him, how have they tested that? Because for me, I don't want to grab a card that I don't care about, right, and just stick it in direct sunlight for 3 years and see if it's changed. I know I have a couple cards that are definitely faded. I think the Cooperstown card with the ticket to Cooperstown, what the heck it was called, Destination Cooperstown. Wow. I swear to God, the yellow on that thing is not as sharp as it should be. I honestly. So it makes me think, was that thing sitting in the sunlight? And right. I know they do. I know they fade the. There's a couple cards, but I would be curious because, if it's not direct sunlight, is it okay? Like right here in my bedroom, I'm thinking of using this entire wall for like shelves, right? To put all the cards up. And there's no sunlight ever hitting that wall, ever. But it comes in that one window a little bit to fill the room. So,
well, I've heard of incidents where our LCS guys in their cases, they'll have like cards sitting there for years. And like when they go to sell them, they're just completely like faded away. It's just... So it's weird. I don't know if it's just sunlight, but it's just like a weird, maybe it's a mixture of humidity and sunlight and UV and fluorescence, and I don't know. It scares me.
Lights in the cases, I wonder, shining down. I wonder how much those. I mean, those are some intense lights. They're really hot. They're really close to the card. I mean,
that's why you got to get the lighting that I have. There's special lights that you can use that museums use, and it attaches to the display and it shines down, and it's going to sound weird, but it burns cool. It doesn't get hot. Mm-hmm. The lamp won't get hot. There's special lamps that you can buy, and I forget the name. Once I move and get situated, I'll do a video on those, but they're particular lights. They're a little more expensive than traditional lights, but they're well worth it because they don't get hot. Okay. If they stay cool. I forget the name of them. I'll have to show a video on them, but when you get those and use those, you'll be okay. I mean, because I've had those lights for God going on 15 years. Okay. And they've shined over my jerseys, autographs, and the autographs still look pristine.
That's something to think about for the Barry jersey too, dude. When you get that thing up, you can change some of it. It's never going up.
No, it is.
Okay.
It's gonna be like I'm gonna put a blanket over my window, and it'll never be sunlight in here ever again. So no light, no sun ever again, and I'll know my Barry Sanders jerseys up on the wall, and that'll be enough.
Well, maybe if you ever move into a new place and you get like an underground man cave, that will be the first thing you can hang up and know that it's going to be all right. But those type of lights might be a really good idea too. You know, when I'm able to get all the cards up, because I could easily change the lights in the bedroom there, because that would be awesome. I've always talked with Greg, you know, like we gotta go do a show or something so we can at least see what our collection looks like on display. You know, I did that video this last summer here, a few months ago, where I had all my cards laid out while I was moving some stuff around, and I was like, man, I would love to be able to look at these more than just a couple days, because after that, I'm like, all right, I got to put these away. Something's going to happen to them. So, you know, we talk all the time about, like, you know, we got to get some cards on display. I want to look at them. You know, I want to wake up and see the 24 karat sitting right there. You know, I want to see the holographic sitting there. And so that's cool that you do that, man. You got to do a video when you get it all set up, because I'm always looking at these ideas, and there's these different people that have, you know, we interviewed Ben and Dan. They have these incredible man caves set up. And I know Dan's for sure is in a room like yours, Greg, with a window. Yeah. So, you know, he must be doing something, you know. I don't know. But it is pretty cool, man. I gotta appreciate the cards. Again, that's why it's so much fun having you on here, Aaron, because you appreciate all the cards, dude. It doesn't matter if it's a shiny card out of 3,000. I think I remember you putting a Gary Sheffield 2000 Bowman's Best base in a screw down, and you were like, this card is incredible. It's a base card, but I don't care. It's going in a screw down because it looks amazing. That's what right there.
Exactly. Yeah, man, I do. I mean, if I like the card, you know, it's definitely going in a mag or a screw down or something. I don't care about 25 cents, 50 cents. If I love it, it's going in the mag, and it's getting displayed on the wall somewhere.
That's awesome. Well, Greg, you have the perfect criteria. And I asked you this off camera the other day. I go, Greg, I got these cards sitting here, you know, like I got these perfect fit around the top loaders, right? And I go, how do I decide what goes in a mag and what doesn't? Because at this point, I have some extra mags. And what was your answer?
So because I collect Tim Salmon, everything feels like it's $1. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. You start to say, do I really want to put this $1 card in a mag? And because it starts to add up, you know, you run out of space because everything's in a mag. So what is your criteria? How do you decide which is which? So I have developed a formula, foolproof formula. And my formula is, if I have a card, like a parallel or, you know, an insert, if it's a Griffey or a Frank, would I put it in a mag? And if the answer is yes, then I put the Tim Salmon in the mag, because he is the equivalent of those people for me. So I always do the test. Would I put this Griffey or Frank in a mag if I had that person? And if the answer is yes, Tim goes in the mag.
Cool, man. Cool.
I love it. I mean, it definitely, I put, I think, 3 cards in mags after I talked to you and I talked to Jason on the podcast. It's like, Matt, that's got to go in a mag, dude. I'm like, all right, man. Aaron, Nate has this question. Sorry, Greg, I got to cover you up for a second. He asked this right here.
Oh, I got the cards with
faded cards.
Yeah, Nate came out and visited me one time, and man, we went into this card. Well, actually, we went into a couple of different card shops, and this guy had just a massive amount of cards in the showcase, and they were just all you know, faded out. You know, looked like it had just been in the sunlight forever. And you know, the fun, crazy thing was, you know, he had these high price amount on it. Like I think it was it might have been a faded McGuire card, and it was like ridiculously priced for like $100 when it's like a $2 card. And we were looking at it like, what the hell is this, man? Are you kidding me? It's faded. You know, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah. And the guy wouldn't budge. So he wouldn't budge on his prices. He was like firm, like, nah, you want that card? It's me $100. You know, he was real firm with it. But yeah, that's what Nate's referring to, man. This guy had just all kind of faded cards in his cases, man. Just
That's a sad life to live.
Butchered.
Yeah, how is that guy going to make money on his cards if he's not A, won't budge, and B, they're all faded? Like, what a bummer, you know?
Well, that's what we were saying. Like, I don't know how this guy is still in business, man. I mean, it was nuts, man. Absolutely nuts.
That's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is to wake up and all my cards are blank pieces of paper because they faded away.
I think all of us.
Maybe you can sell them to that guy. You can sell them to that card shop guy.
Yeah. Tim Salmon, sure. Let's go. A-Rod, yep. Gary Sheffield, don't care. Give it all to me, man.
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
Holy moly. I think we've been really, I mean, think about it, guys. I mean, we're 20 years out of our cards that we collect, if not more, right? And we're still finding cards that are in significantly good condition, you know, which I think is really cool. I mean, obviously people have had to take care of these cards, hopefully, but I think Ben Schneider brought up a good point, the Larkin collector. He goes, look, if you find these cards and they have a couple dings on the edges, because we all look at the edges, right? Every time a card comes up and we want to buy it, we look at the back, look at the edges. At this point, though, if it doesn't have any major corner issues, who cares? You know, because it's coming from that far out. I'd rather take a card with a couple little chip things going on than a faded card. That's just, no, I can't do it. I have 2 faded cards. One of them it's so rare I deal with it, and the other one I hate. I think, frankly, the scan didn't do it justice. It came, and I was like, oh gosh, like it's just like buried in my boxes. I don't even want to look at it. I think it was the Leaf 97 Leaf pennant or something out of 2,500 or 1,500. It's terrible, man. So it happens.
I think I would prefer chipping over a faded or a hulked out card.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Those 98 finest refractors, man, they are so susceptible to that. I think any 98 tops refractor, I finally picked up a 98 base refractor of A-Rod, his first Topps Chrome refractor. And it looked kind of, green. And then I sent Greg a picture of it when I got it. I'm like, hey, how bad is this? He's like, yeah, it's significantly greening, or hulking, or whatever you want to call it. And I know Greg, he's super sensitive to that. He's like, I hate this Tim Salmon card. It's so, your finest no protector.
I'd rather do refractor lines and print lines than the greening and the fading. That's my personal thing that I can't get past. So
yeah, I can't do the fading, man. I mean, the fade it's crazy. It almost looks like a printing plate, Yeah. It's so faded out real bad. I can't do it. I'll much rather deal with chipping than fade it.
Have you seen any? I'm curious. You've had cards on display. He and I don't do that yet. So you've had cards on display. Have you noticed a refractor change at all over the years that you've had your Sheffields out? Any change last few years?
Nope. Not at all. And the thing is, some of them, just recently, because these Black Ultra Pros have come on the market. I mean, recently I've taken some out of the case and re-put them in the new cases, and they look the same as if I just bought them. So I haven't seen any change. But then again, like I said, my room is a little different than most because there's no sunlight coming in. Mm-hmm. You're just dealing with natural light, from ceiling lights and the light that I have over the display cases. But
right.
no change at all. Still got the same shine as when I first bought it.
I mean, your Tim Salmon and my A-Rod refractor, because it was a graded card, had to have been sitting out in the sunlight or something for a while. There's no other explanation, man.
I think it's just the material, and I have not seen one single no protector salmon that is not jacked up. I've looked at numerous 98 finest no protectors, and there's not one salmon that's not unaffected. And what's crazy is like the protector salmon refractor is fine. It's the no protectors that are all messed up, all of them. I've not seen one that's in good condition.
Which is weird because we've talked about, the finest man refractor, Aaron. I don't think Sheffield has one of those, right?
No, he doesn't.
Right, but those, I mean, a lot of those have hulking. The last A-Rod that sold has the protector. It's in a graded case, for crying out loud. So you got 2 layers of protection. still hulked. I mean, it really makes me wonder about the material that they did those with, because the 99 finest refractors, there's no issue with those, at least that I've seen. The golds, the regulars, they all look fine.
I've not seen any.
Yeah.
And I know Chef has a 99 gold refractor. He's in a Dodgers uniform that you have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And those, no issues. So really curious about that. I had to ask Greg, because if he's got them all on display, that makes me feel a little bit better, as long as I don't have a lot of, like here, I got 2 big windows. So there's no way I can put a display case in the living room. There's no way. But in the bedroom, yeah, for sure. There's one window way on the corner over there. And then I've got, the stuff here. So
that's where the magic.
This one right here, like here's the finest refractor, the competitors.
Right.
This one, I've had this on display for, God, forever. And I just now recently took it out to put it in a new holder to put the security tags over it. But I mean, it still shines like crazy, just like I when I first originally bought it.
There it is. Nice.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Right. Yeah, man. That's from 96 or 97?
This is 96, I believe.
Okay.
97, I'm sorry.
So you talked about Nate sending you refractors. Greg, you got one as well?
No, I'm just showing the difference.
Okay.
This is the regular. This is the regular refractor. No issues. And then you got the no protector.
Oh, wow. Look at that, man. Like you can see it on his legs, the jersey, the face.
Yeah, you sure can.
Like, it's so crazy to me, the difference.
Well, look at this right here, Greg. Can you hold that up again one more time? Because this comment by Nate solves the issue. Check it out. You see it? This is perfect. So the whole, moisture, not light. So how the heck is the moisture getting in there, man?
Well, yeah, that's I mean, I guess maybe the peel protects it, because no peel, they're all messed up, and with the peel, they're not. So it's like, I don't know. It's just like, is the no protectors, are they that susceptible to moisture? So.
Well, Nate, you were there. I think, you weren't there when the deal happened, but Nate brought that A-Rod no protector finest refractor for me to buy from him. He had been holding it. Thanks again, buddy. And it looks perfect. No issues. So I know Nate has always kept his cards in those boxes like you, Aaron, and has them stored away just like Greg does. And I have my clear boxes, but they stay on the ground or on the shelf and out of the sunlight. So, so Nate says, climate, use a dehumidifier in your man cave. Yep. I mean,
yeah, that is right.
So
my only argument would be this: is I've seen multiple players with no issues, and then I've seen Simeon with 100% issues. So it's hard for me to believe that everybody who owns a salmon card just let them sit in water, and everybody who owns a Griffey or whatever, whoever other player, a Sheffield, doesn't let them sit in water. So I almost feel like there's more to it than that, because how could you say every Tim Salmon card was hit with moisture? And I feel like there would be a salmon that would pop up that would be in perfect condition, and I've not seen that.
Yeah,
I don't know either, man. That's a really good question. Was salmon in Series 1 or Series 2? Because there could have been some discrepancy there,
I believe he was Series 1.
I mean, that would make sense too, right? I mean, if you guys both think about the fact that there's a Series 1 and there's some issues with those, and then you go to Series 2 and they've kind of ironed some of that out even then. I mean, I know, look what Four Leaf said. You'll like this. Oh, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That Series 1. So maybe it was a Series 1 thing. I don't know.
I'm really not sure, man. That's kind of interesting though. But I mean, I'm really intrigued, Aaron, because I have thought we talk all the time about different ways to display the cards. Are you talking about the ones that are like a picture frame case and they're in there next to each other and they hang kind of on the wall, or do you have these big bookshelves? How are you going to do it in the man cave?
No, the cases are like you just described, just kind of like, you can buy those storage wall units, and you can buy them where they hold like 72 cards. You can, ungrade they hold like 72 cards. Graded, I think you can get 50 to 70 cards in them or something like that.
Right.
So I got a bunch of those, but outside of that, I have those showcases like you would find like at a national. You know how guys are setting up and they're putting their cards in. I have that type of setup in the room. I have about 4 of those that I use to display, cards and football cards and stuff like that. But yeah, the wall units are great, man. I mean, like I said, I've never had any problems, with cards fading or anything like that. But then again, I'm using the special light. I'm not using a regular light in there.
Okay.
So, using regular light could affect the card. I don't know, I've never used it.
Here's the Series 2 Caminiti, no protector. And it looks different. Well, is yours Series 2?
You know what? I was thinking about where am I going to go find this. I just recently organized my entire A-Rod collection, so I can't tell you which one it's in. But I am curious. I'm going to go look real quick. Yeah, that looks awesome. Real quick before we move on, we have to give a shout out. Do you see who's in the podcast now? Yeah. So the guys that make these, Aaron, the Perfect Fit Innovation right here. I don't know if that's the one that you use. There's a couple out there, but
that's the one I'm using currently.
Yeah, the guy, he just subscribed to us and he's in the show. These are amazing. So
big shout out, man.
Yeah. I mean,
shout out to you guys.
Found out on it just by looking on. Yep, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, buddy. There we go. That's what we're all using those. Greg got me onto these. The perfect fits for the top loaders, man. These things are awesome. I love it. I mean, they especially because they pull the top of the card close a little bit, so the card's not moving around as much.
And it was Richie, I think. And
Richie,
he sent me. I ordered some, and the shipment ended up being wrong, and he like totally fixed it, and sent me, just more, and I didn't have to send back. So like. The dude answers his messages like within 30 minutes, man. He's on top of it. So I give a big shout out to him. Those sleeves are like top notch. I'd say they're the number one choice for putting your mags in top.
They are. They're amazing, man. I mean, this is one. Let me show this one right here.
That's it.
And just how that perfect fit sleeve just fits right over the mag, man. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just perfect.
Yep. I mean, they do the Pro Mold ones nice too. I mean, they have a little bit of space, but like even I know this is a baseball card podcast. I'm sorry, but even my thicker ones, like this with my D Wade auto. I mean, they fit the size. I believe these are 80. They also fit the 22 or the 25s. I mean, they fit it. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, they've been a huge savior to my cases for sure. We were talking about refractors, and Nate said that in 99 they got it right. I've said this so many times, man. I feel like 99 refractors did it right. You know what I mean? The shine on top's chrome refractors in 99. I don't care what card it is, whether it's the Fortune 15 or the all etch. We've talked about I mean, man, 99 did it right.
I'm gonna take the Griffey.
Yeah, that 99 man that was incredible, man. Let me see.
Put me up.
I got a few.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that all etch, dude. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, dude, that's an incredible card, man.
Did Sheffield get into the 99 Topps Chrome set anywhere? I know he's got a base refractor, right?
Yeah, he's got a base refractor, but that's it.
Man, he didn't even make it in all etch. I mean, that's just crazy. I think 99 was kind of a transition year for him, though, right?
Yeah, it was. He is in the Bowman's best.
Right. Is that Yankees or Dodgers? No,
this is the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah,
that Atomic's got some nasty shine to it, man. That's awesome. Greg, I was just going through my cards, man. I couldn't help but stop on this card. I love Ionics and what they did with their technology.
Sounds like
I think it's nice. I don't know if you've seen one of those before, but yeah, sorry. Oh man. Oh yeah, look, there's the Atomic. Yeah, you're right. Our buddy Alan is in here. Oh, let's see. Greg, can you see the comment? I'm gonna let Aaron see this. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure we'll be ordering more. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
there you go. And yep. Look at that. And don't you like how the Pro molds fit those 99 finest better? They got that room for them now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Because of those decal edges.
Yep. That's the way to go, man. Those have been really, really nice. They've definitely saved me a lot of worrisome feelings with them getting onto the edges and stuff there too. I'm trying to look through here and see if I can find some cards. Oh yeah, I remember you showed these off recently. You showed these off before I got them, Aaron. These are for sure. You convinced me to look for more. Is from the Pinnacle Inside? You talked about just how hard in your top 30 video, how hard these were to pull from the actual cans. You know, the diamond edition. Yes. And I was very lucky that Brant had them both. They don't quite have the same pop as the 97s with that die cut edge. That's another one of Greg's favorites,
right.
For sure. But they're incredibly hard. When you go an open product like that and then you figure out how hard cards are to pull, it makes you even want them more. And you showed those off in a video prior. You and Ben did, and I'm like, I got to find those. And thankfully, I was able to. It was cool.
Those cards were incredibly tough. I mean, my buddy that used to work for Pinnacle, he gave me I want to tell you 12 cases of those.
Wow.
Of the cans. They come 24 to a case, and you get one gold can that comes in the case. And I cracked probably 6 to 8 cases, and I never pulled one.
Wow.
Nuts, man.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense either based upon the odds. You think you would see one floating around in there.
Exactly.
We don't discuss math.
Yeah, we do. I have to do a PSA on the channel to correct myself, man. We have fun going through pack odds, but the thing is nowadays they're all the boxes are pretty much open. So it's a crapshoot if you go find a loose box somewhere. We had the pleasure of doing that. We got some rare cards out of there, so it was great. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
For sure. But I was looking for the refractor, Greg, and I couldn't. My no protector refractor is at the bottom of one of those boxes. But man, I peeled the protector off here, but it's card number 157. So I think that's series 1. So I don't know what to tell you. Thanks to Nate for protecting the no protector. Haha. But I mean, it looks great, man. Both of them look great. So who knows what happened to all your salmons? But like Leaf said, he loves water. I guess that was the reason that happened. For sure.
The material, like it was a different sheet or something. I don't know. It seems too odd that all the salmons are messed up.
Aaron, I want to say another one. This is a really basic card, but I think we all know it. I remember you showed off the 97 Donruss Preferred Tidal Waves. And I remember at first looking at that card on a scan on eBay and being like, man, this card is so there's nothing going on here. And then you showed off in your video and the shine on the foil, on the lettering, Tidal Waves. I'm like, yep, that's a good card. Got to go get it. So there's always videos that I go back and watch. And I'm like, oh, man, he really showed that card off nicely. I should go back and think about grabbing it, and definitely thanks for that.
Yeah, that is a fantastic card, man. I love that card. Actually, that's a card that's displayed on the wall. I had the man cave going. Yeah, that's a wonderful card, man. I love it.
I mean, because you would show off cards that were serial numbered out of 3. You said this was short printed out of 3,000. Most people don't think, even if you're a collector of Bonds, Griffey, A-Rod, Jeter. I mean, those cards kind of fly under the radar. And with Sheffield, he's not in as many insert sets, so you're able to kind of bring those to light. And like I said, that's really what really got me motivated to go back, because I had a lot of those just sitting in binders before I started talking to Greg. I was like, these cards aren't, whatever. So I kind of went back and watched those videos, and it started making me think like, okay, they're rare as, and appreciation of cards. It doesn't mean that they're expensive or there's not many of them. It's beyond that with the 90s. And that's what they did right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's a rare one. Can you give me the big one?
Oh, I know. I already know what's coming, dude. Are you doing it?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Man. Actually, that's an awesome card, man.
Listen, Greg, if that's not displayed in the man cave one day, I'm going to be really upset when I come visit.
Man.
Essentially, $1 to $2. I want all of you to own the Muhammad Ali hologram.
We all need to find a card like that. That's our like signature end of the video card. Like, all right, guys, signing off. Here's this, Pokemon card of whoever. I don't know. We can't top the Muhammad Ali, man.
Wow, that's a great card. What was that, from 91?
Yeah.
I think 91, right?
91 KO.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That card is probably more popular than half of the cards we ever shown off on a podcast. Guys are like screaming for it at the end of the episode. Like, hey, where's the Muhammad Ali card? I'm waiting for it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody's got their calling card. Look at Aaron. I mean, and imitation is all about flattering. Like like when you do that in your videos, I'm like, dude, this guy loves cards. Like, he makes me want to be more excited about my cards. I would not copy you, but you've got your thing. I don't know what mine is. I don't know if I have one, but it's like showing off. I think Tanner taught me to kind of reflect the cards a little bit more in the videos.
Yeah.
I like to try to pull things from everybody's videos, and not that I would do that, Aaron, but for sure, just like showing the excitement for the cards. That's something that you had going for you before hardly anybody else. Alan was the same way. Alan showing off cards like, man, I love this card, and he'd show it again. Alan Hardy. He had a video the other day where he was showing it. I was going back. He's like, man, my hands are shaking so bad because he was so excited over the card. It was hilarious, man. But I love it. I love everybody's Greg's intro now where he's like DuckTales or whatever the heck's going on.
Oh,
yeah. Everybody's
fantastic.
Awesome, man. Well, I know it's getting late for Greg. I know it's getting late for all of us, but Aaron, it's a pleasure having you on the show, man. I am kind of fanboying out a little bit because 3.5 years ago I was like, man, this guy's awesome. I gotta meet this guy someday. And of course, we get to the National. Greg was there. I'm like, there's Aaron right there. No, that was Snoop. I literally almost ran up to Snoop and said, "What's up, Aaron?"
Oh, wow.
He was far away. I couldn't quite tell, But
yeah.
Thanks again for taking the time out, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate having me on, man. It's fantastic, man. I love what you guys are doing. It's great. This kind of stuff needs to be talked about more. So continue to do what you guys do, man. I mean, it's awesome. Greg, you have a fantastic collection, man. Really, really loves your last video you put out, man. And you two together, man, it works. So continue to do what you guys do, man. It's awesome,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll keep doing it as long as we got stuff to talk about, and I'm never shutting my mouth. So looks like
it's the 90s, man. It's the 90s. You got a lot to talk about, man. Plus, if you're not talking about that, we can talk about that 91 KO card.
We're gonna do a whole episode on that card, man. That thing needs to. Seriously, if we did like a showcase and we were like set up at a show just to show off cards, that one would be like front and center, right smack in the middle of all the salmon cards, and it would probably get more love. Like, dude, I've seen that card on the podcast. It. It's infamous now, man. It's infamous.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Aaron, can you do me a huge favor? I mean, I don't know if we could set something up for the actual podcast sometime, but it would be great if you get the man cave set up and we could do kind of a tour and like a kind of a more, what's the word I'm looking for, not official, but interview style thing like our podcast where you could go through and show the display and answer some questions for people, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have some amazing collections in our group. I mean, I don't care about the high dollar, low dollar stuff, everybody in between. there's some great collection. I think people are like me and Greg, where we're apprehensive to put it out there and show it because of the light might ruin it and fade it. So you've got the experience of doing it for years now. I think it would be cool to see how you do it. And obviously just to see it for fun would be awesome.
Absolutely, man. Definitely when I get everything set up, man, I'll let you know for sure.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna turn this off. You can hang out for a few minutes here. Thanks for everybody who watched this Side Credentials. Probably gonna do another one here soon. I've got my buddy Kyle's been getting on me about having him on for a Side Credentials. He wants to chat about A-Rod. So that'll be coming up soon. But thanks again for everybody watching. Our podcast will officially be next week because Greg will be very busy this weekend. Hopefully you have a good time. And then we're trying to get. I think Nate wants to get back on soon. Alan wants to hop back on soon, and there's plenty to talk about. So that'll be coming up. So thanks again, guys. See ya.
Bye.